Hey guys, it's Cycle with AR-15 Milsim.
Hey guys, Don from AR-15.
And we're here to talk to you guys about the
Milsim that's coming up on March 10, 11, 12 at AR-15 Battlegrounds. If you have not picked up your tickets yet, be sure to get them at AirsoftRevolution15.com on the AR-15 Milsim tab, and they're $65 right now.
right now.
Right now.
All right, let me show you guys real quick where you can find that.
So you can cut screen over to
Boom, there we go. So if you go to AR-15 or AirsoftRevolution15.com, let's click on that real quick, and it's gonna bring you to our main page with our updates right here on the left side.
It's our Twitter feed, that we post on Facebook.
Then here's our contact information, our business hours, and so forth. So what you do in order for you to find out what's going on, you come over here, you go to AR-15 Milsim. Don't need to type on any of that. All you have to do is just click this part. Boom, AR-15 Milsim. What it's going to do is going to bring you up to AR-15 Milsim's main page where we have all of our
past events coming up.
Right. The reason that we haven't taken this off is because we're still doing AR-15 paintball, suicide night, but it was going to be more for the outdoor play rather than indoor play. The last one we had was August 6th overnight to the 7th. That was crazy, but that was it. So we're gonna have new pricing, new everything for the big event that we're having for paintball. And then if you come down here, AR-15 Battlegrounds for Zombie Overload. So Zombie Overload 2 is on its way as well, but not till a later date. So we'll go ahead and release all that information later. But do not click this and do not click this. So as you can see, Final Rue was one of the last year's up for the end of the year for that.
For that year.
Right, for that series. And you don't have the buy option right here, but you have the buy option for Wrath of Athena. So you click on that, and it'll take you to a secure page, PayPal, and you can buy your ticket for $65 plus tax, and that'll come up after taxes and charges and stuff. So that'll bring it up to $70. So that's why you guys. Check out your tickets earlier when it was $50, and you were able to get all your cool stuff, guys. So tickets are $65 right now at AR-15 Milsim's page, Wrath of Athena. Buy your ticket now if you haven't bought your tickets yet. But we're here to talk to you guys about the Q&A that George had for us. So if you click here, you can actually see on the event page, March 10th, Operation Wrath of Athena, 10, 11, and 12. This is the event page on Facebook. So we have here, hey, shout out to Chad. All right, so we're always getting updates from our buddies from 878. And Lion Claws, we'll be going to Lion Claws big event up in Fort Hood, Operation Bulldog. So we will be representing AR-15 there. We'll be fighting up against the man himself, Major Z Monster. Shout out to Z Monster and Third Coast Airsoft. We'll be fighting up against them. So looking forward to that. But real quick, Mr. George Vasquez.
Has there been any comments?
Down here?
No, it's on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Let me check. Boop. Jesse, what's up, Jesse? Yes. One star. How do you have to
be part of a Milsim?
So so the answer to that would be the age that we have is 14 years old. Just because that's our age limit restriction as far as if you're 14 years old and you have played at the arena, then you're vouched for as far as you can handle, following the rules and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to vouch for other people that I
And don't
mean
show up.
that don't show up. As far as being vouched and stuff like that, it's kind of tough for us to have even some adults that act like kids. So it's not like they're banned or anything like that. It's just a matter that let us know who it is, and if they're with an adult, they can be tasked with the adult whenever you guys go out on the field. We just don't need a 14-year-old brand new player that he's gonna be running around the entire op in areas that it's not uh, playable yet, because we'll explain that later on here through this live feed. Okay, so right now we have George. George has been following us since the beginning of the Follow Cerberus, Operation Follow Cerberus at Battlegrounds. And so he has a lot of questions for us. It says here, what time period does the storyline take place? And how many years after the Federation has fallen or fell? Okay, so that's a good question, George. So the time period that the actual op itself has taken place, there really is not a year. It's actually the present time, and we can go into that later as far as canon and not canon of what some special events are tied to one another, as far as as year space. Um, we'll put together an actual timeline piece to where we can explain, Operation Follow Cerberus was obviously number one, and then Training Trails was the sequel. That House of Nightmare was a dream sequence between Trinity Trails and Final Rule. But we'll go ahead and go into that here in a minute. Okay, so we have. So how many years? I'm guessing what he's asking is how many years does Wrath of Athena actually happening after the actual op
After Final Rule.
And actually it's a direct continuation of Final Rule. So pretty much Friday night, what you'll be doing is you'll be playing the DSM. That's what we call dead squirrel missions. Also compared to like your tier ones, your dam missions, like from other organizations as well. So it's more like you're playing the storyline mode of everything that happened at Final Rule. So if you miss Final Rule, you can play Friday night, catch up, on our storyline as far as what happened at Final Rule, what happened at the end of Final Rule. That leads you into Wrath of Athena, because as you guys know, that all of our ops are tied in together, and you guys actually dictate the outcome of the op. Because as far as what was the highlight moment, and we'll go into that again here in a minute as far as what was the highlight moment of Final Rule that led into Wrath of Athena and what changed and why Wrath of Athena is upon us now. So it's a direct continuation, pretty much as the fight's happening, something else happens, and that's where we end up at Wrath of Athena. Will there be any key commanders? Dom, you want to go over this? Because this actually happened at Operations Fall Cerberus.
Yes. Okay, so as far as the key commanders, gathering points, rewind back to Operation Fall of Cerberus, there were commanders that you can capture. Whereas if they get shot, they take a knee, they pull out the dead rag. If enemy players get to them, they can be medicked and then be captured for points. We saw a lot of people abuse this point system. So if you are going to capture key commanders, enemy commanders, they're going to be mission specific. Meaning you got to be tasked with the mission to capture a person, not just capture them whenever you feel like it.
Right. So basically, breaking it down, if it's part of your fraggle, then do it. If it's not part of your fraggle, then you're just another commander. Because otherwise, then our key commanders won't be on the battlefield and enjoy themselves as well. So we went ahead and decided, you know what? It's not an active thing going on at all times. So we'll go ahead and just take that away and just, you know, mold it to mission specific games.
Yes.
All right. So next question. Uh, is there somewhere where I can read up on the lure of your Milsims so I don't end up having so many questions? Well, the answer is no. You cannot. There is no book. There's no written script yet, or anything as far as that. The only thing that we have for reference would be our actual Milsim tab here on YouTube, where you can actually play, you know, the AR-15 Milsim and anything related to the up itself, whether it was a special announcement or whatnot, as far as storyline mode and stuff like that. That's basically what you have. But as far as an actual like on paper written down on any of that, there hasn't been anything written up just because we want to keep it fresh. We want to keep it alive. The other day, I had a question from one of our friends across the ways. He said he was asking me if the same question, and I was like, no, well, we keep it. I like to destroy all that information for one because we have the secret ingredients of who we are and stuff like that for ourselves, and not only that, but it pushes us to come up with something different every time instead of just reduplicating what happened last year or whatnot. So, as far as any of that, no, there's nothing written up yet. And it's good that you guys actually have questions because then it shows us that there's a lot of plot holes. Or you guys are paying attention to where you want to ask, and we hit that interest point to where it interests you, makes it worthwhile. All right. What's the timeline and countries these fights are happening in, or even in time period? Okay, guys, we'll go ahead and make a timeline videos, so that way you can actually follow the timeline. But most of the ops, they pretty much follow each other back to back to back. So there's no jump up or anything like that. For the one that's kind of confusing would be House of Nightmare, just because it's
It's a dream sequence where it kind of everything was kind of caught up in lingo or limbo.
right.
Yeah.
So basically, whatever happened at Trinity Trails last year followed through and into Final Rule, but House of Nightmares pretty much was the explanation of what was going on. Okay,
What language do the factions fighting speak? Um, Interesting question on the language. We pretty much all speak English, right? It's whatever language you speak. So George, I know you speak Spanish, so if the SRF wants to speak Spanish, go for it.
and who was on the phone?
Who's on the phone?
That's one thing George had said. As far as he used to do that in English because. But
I'm on the phone pretty much all the time here at the store.
what is the uniform styles for the SRF? I noticed
Civilian.
civilian does not mean jeans.
Does that mean jeans?
Oh, does that mean jeans? Yes. So basically, your contract look, your.
Okay. We're clearing up all the uniforms right now.
Okay.
All of them.
Hold
Okay. Go.
on. Okay, we go here. Oh, Milsim rules and guidelines. Hey. And here we have table of contents. But I can vouch for these guys. It only has resistance and federation.
Yes.
So right now, as we speak, we have the resistance, and these are the approved. Whoa, these are the approved resistant uniforms. Basically, anything green.
So you got your German Fleckturn, your Multicam Tropics, your M81, your Tiger Stripe, your Russian Camo, your what is it? Green Marpat, your
This one right here.
Cryptek.
This has got to be fixed because it's not gonna be mixed matched if you have the resistance now. Because if you've been following the storyline, the Resistance is now an actual force to be reckoned with. So they're an organized military faction now. So now they actually have matching uniform.
Yes.
So that's the green faction. The Federation, you guys are the tan faction. So basically all the tans and light grays, I would say. But basically your solid tans, your tans, and stuff like that. You guys are Federation. You guys, this is the approved uniform. We don't have any specific uniforms as far as for the SRF because the SRF is a civilian faction. It's a silent reform. Basically, you guys were following the actual ops. They were mixed inside the resistance and inside the federation itself. Um, so a lot of these players were actually that are part of the SRF were on each faction. So that's why we kind of left it bland. But civilianized military style contractor look, jeans, uh, you know,
So anything that's not green.
anything that's not green. Can you wear tan mixed with civilian attire? Yes.
Yes.
Um, just that's for this faction. For this year's set of ops, you can mix tan with
Civilian.
civilians.
Civilian, black, gray.
Right. Stay away. If you're SRF, please, please, please stay away from anything that has green in it.
No green.
No green, guys.
Gear color does not matter. But it's the uniform that we're looking at.
Right. So there's a new one out there now. Multicam Tropic right here. So Multicam Tropic is a green, not Multicam
Milsim.
or Multicam Merit.
Milsim is on the other side.
No,
No,
it's Multicam.
that's Milsim.
Right. So that still considers to be tan.
Yes.
There's now Multicam Tropic, so that's green. So two separate ones. No more confusion whether Multicam is green or not. We have Multicam, and we have Multicam Tropic, guys. So later on, in the next coming years, your faction will be decided on actual uniform patterns. So be advised, we told you today, back in 2017,
17.
that your patterns will definitely be a factor into, what faction you belong to. Just because you may end up having a split in either faction to where now you have M81s and, you're one faction. You're no longer the resistance, but you're actually
Its own separate faction.
its own separate faction.
But until we get there, green with green, tan with tan, black with black.
Right. So is that a spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
So,
Not going to. Moving on. What's the next question?
That's pretty much it. So talking about our style of our op. First of all, where is our op going to be held at?
AR-15 Battleground.
Battlegrounds. All right, cool. So we have AR-15 Battlegrounds here, and we have. You want to go over how the actual op is going to be like? What are these different colors? For a lot of the players that didn't get to go to Final Rue, this is actually a new thing that we actually did.
Right.
We'll go over it real quick, try to get it within another minute.
So here at AR-15 Milsim, we separated AR-15 Battlegrounds into different territories. The purpose of the territories is we can open and close them so we can actually focus the fight into specific regions. So it's not too spread out and then people aren't getting contact because they're sitting in a corner all by themselves.
Because the AO is 79 acres, guys, and it's really easy to end up lost. So
So if you centralize and what's the right word for it?
Basically, we'll just go over what happened in Final Rue.
Mm.
So Final Rue, you had the gray area. All these colors actually have numbers on the actual territories.
Secret numbers. So unless you've actually been to the field itself, you guys don't know the numbers.
Right.
I do.
Right, and even at that, they can still change.
Yeah.
For Raptor Athena.
Mm-hmm.
So, Raptor Athena, you have these different territories, and all these different territories actually have numbers on them to where you actually have to go read them and report them back in to Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is pretty much the all-seeing person that pretty much is dictating, what's going on and stuff like that.
It's your go-to call sign for anything.
Right. So if you're either Resistance, Federation, SRF, or otherwise, you will always report to Eagle Eye, and Eagle Eye will give you your fraggle missions and stuff like that. And you can report, what territories you end up taking over. So we had the orange, the gray, and the hunter green area that was open, and we were fighting for those three areas. So what happened, there was no point in going all the way to the lime green, the white, or the red. So it kept the fight close and centralized, like Don was saying. And what happens is that you don't have random players trying to outflank, wide outflank. You keep the fight strong. And the beginning of the we have Pockets Tower. Pockets Tower is actually located on
the map.
on the map here in the gray area, and pretty close to those coordinates, and pretty much the beginning of the op. You end up rushing to that to call in to Equalize to try to figure out where your building supplies is. Now, for the last three ops, we actually had tools for you guys to build out there and stuff like that, so we can build up your comp tower, your CCP, your armory, and your headquarters, and so forth. So, Viva la Resistance. See, like how I read that?
Yeah. Well, French.
What's up? Shout out to Tristan.
H.
All right. So we have those three ops, where you have to actually go build up those stuff. So in this next op, what's going to happen, guys, is that you actually have only two structures to build. Pretty simple. You have your
HQ.
Your HQ and your forward operating base. So your forward operating base is basically your FOB, your FOB, to where it's your CCP and your HQ, and you can reload on those locations, and you can refresh on your
medic bandages.
Your medic bandages.
If it's not compromised.
So again?
If it's not compromised.
If it's not compromised, that's for your forward operating base. Now, if your forward operating base, BBs are reaching it at that minute, then you have to hard respawn back at your HQ. Now, to eliminate a lot of confusion, your HQ can be built pretty much anywhere in the entire AO that is playable at that moment. So, which means if you get a bunker buster busted at your HQ, then you have to hard respawn. The way you come back to life, guys, is you actually have to rebuild your hard respawn before you can respawn.
Yes.
You have to relocate it by enough, and the other guys who are attacking, they're not going to hit you again with the bunker buster right off the bat. They're just trying to move you so that way they can get to their fragile mission. Or, you just nuisance in the area and you just keep spawning, right next to Pockets Tower, or spawning right next to Joker's Tower. Okay, so Joker's Tower is actually located in what everybody knows it as Pallet Town.
Tower Town.
Tower Town. So
Tower Town.
Right. So that's actually Joker's Tower right there. So, there we go. So back to this map. And there's a third one down there. That's Wolf's Tower. Now still have a couple of. We still have a couple of weeks before we have to get out there, but we're gonna try to get out there, guys, so we can build that tower. So it's ready for.
Final Rue. No.
No,
Sorry.
Raptor Athena.
Too many names.
So we're actually trying to get that built up, so that way that's the next tower that you have to rush up to try to get your frag mission. As far as where to pick up your building supplies and whatnot. So
keep in mind, same thing as the towers, but like the territories. There are going to be some that are going to be open up at a period of time.
Right. So we have some pretty cool, awesome new perks coming up. Let's go back here. Boom. So if you've been playing at any of AR-15 Milsim's ops, you know that we kind of do things out of the ordinary as far as using gold cards and stuff like that. Follow Cerberus, the admin, we're actually doing a lot of the perks in order for you to be able to, to be effective on your fraggle mission. So what we're doing now is to where you guys are actually utilizing the go kart and stuff like that, to where you guys can actually
use it for your benefit.
Right. So here we're adding this guy right here. Whoa.
That's a blur. Hey, it's blur. Okay.
We're adding this guy here. You want to go over what kind of weapon that is?
So that is the Crytek LMG Enhance with a 3,500 round box magazine that fires at approximately, I think last time I was chronoed at 15 rounds per second with a 9.6 volt battery.
Right. So what's your minimum engagement out there?
50 feet.
Right. So this guy right here, you trigger him, and whether you're SRF or resistance,
It's coming for you.
he's coming for you.
He's coming for you.
And don't worry, guys. He is not just your awesome. You guys can always ask for the Juggernaut game. Basically, he's your Rose Waddle. On steroids. The Milsim version of Rose Waddle. So, except he's got babies instead of noodles to take you out.
Yes.
We're gonna put a saw blade in the front and in the back. You get the saw blade in the front, you'll stop him. You get the saw blade in the back, you kill him out, take him out. Pretty simple.
Hmm?
Otherwise, he's gonna help you complete that fraggle, with his setup.
Just a big bullet sponge.
Right.
Or BB sponge.
Anything else now? I think we're missing.
Pretty much it for now. Just stay updated. Keep watching. How much for the box magazine? If you have a Crytek LMG, I think that box mag, I think we sell it for 135, 140, somewhere in that price range. They're pretty expensive, but personal opinion, best feeding box magazine I've ever used.
Yes, I even got to use it at Crossfire 1, held by Turco's Airsoft up in our buddy Dave's field.
Texas Paintball.
At Texas Paintball.
Yes.
Not the other day.
That box magazine was flawlessly feeding 0.30 gram BBs. For those who use heavy gram BBs pretty often, it's hard to find even a mid-cap or any other magazine to push the heavy BBs because they stack up and it's hard for them to push, but these are pushing flawlessly. Very impressed with the Crytek box mag.
That's right. So, in case you haven't noticed, guys, we are direct dealers for Crytek.
So anything you need from Crytek, just ask us. We got the hookup.
All right. Any other questions you guys got for us before we cut this feed? Before it gets too long, we got less than a minute.
Less than a minute to the 30-minute mark. Who's gonna ask? Any question?
I got a few questions. Can I use high caps?
No.
No. The answer is no, guys. We can't use high caps.
Absolutely
Unless
not.
you have a box magazine.
For a support gunner.
Gunner.
Which is an LMG, which means you have to sign up because there's only limited slots available. Don't
Right.
just show up with a saw and a box mag and I want to be a saw.
Is it 1 day, 2 day, 3 day up?
It's a 3-day.
3-day out, guys. 3-day
3-day
out
event, 2-day out.
for $65 here locally in San Antonio.
For those who live in San Antonio. Sorry, George.
Right.
That's really it. You can camp.
Any weapon? Any vehicles?
If you bring it.
All right. We got 7 seconds. 6 seconds left.
All right. So from our family to yours.
Wait. Follow us on Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, guys.
Our family to yours. Love the game.
Live the game.